This is very, very dangerous. Catching a green light there, but one wrong move. I'm telling you, this guy he has no regard for anybody's safety here, and he's already hit at least one car. Something tells me this is going to end in a wild collision if he continues traveling at these speeds, upwards of 80 miles per hour westbound on Nordhoff. Fortunately, the street is relatively empty here, and we'll see if he looks for a turn here, maybe a wild U-turn. Now going eastbound Nordhoff, making a U-ey, eastbound Nordhoff now. Back towards the 405. Eastbound Nordhoff, slowing down slightly, still, is this a green light? He's slowing down for traffic here. Slowing down for traffic. We'll see what the intention was, if he intends on getting back on the freeway or if he's lost. Either way, look at him crossing over the double yellow lines, trying to get around some traffic here, and weaving right across all three lanes, just weaving through traffic here, trying to get somewhere in a hurry. But again, all you see here is that LAPD helicopter. There is nobody pursuing this suspect from behind, but obviously he is aware of that spotlight from up above. He knows they are on his tail. And as far as we can see, there are no cops in the vicinity here. Nobody with their lights and sirens on, that's for sure. Again, traveling eastbound on Nordhoff Street, coming up on the 405. Something tells me he may get back on the 405. We'll see here. Through another red light. Oof. This guy is flying down Nordhoff Street. This can't be more than a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit here. Slowing down now, making a right turn. A right turn at Haskell, coming up on Roscoe. Looks like there is a passenger, and look at the way he's handling this vehicle. There was a report that it was a Honda Accord. I want to double check and make sure. It does look like an older model Honda Accord. Maybe light blue or silver in color. Again, reportedly a stolen vehicle out of the valley. Southbound Haskell approaching Roscoe. They're going to have to catch up with him. The danger he is posing is just too risky to just let him go. And you get the helicopter that'll hopefully track him to the very end here, but we just hope that maybe they can get some units in position here. They're trying, but having a hard time trying to catch up and trying to triangulate. I mean, they can bring in other units, but right now he's just weaving through the valley here at extreme speeds. A wide right turn there now on Roscoe Boulevard. Westbound on Roscoe, heading away from the 405, traveling away from the freeway. Slowing down a little bit without traffic in his way, only about 40 miles per hour. And now you can clearly make out that female passenger with the window down, rolling the window back up. A wild turn there in oncoming lanes of traffic at Woodley. Northbound Woodley. Northbound Woodley with the lights off. Now turning the headlights off. Vehicle is blacked out. Northbound Woodley. Northbound Woodley Avenue at a high rate of speed. Picking up gas here. He's definitely pushing the pedal to the metal now. 70 miles per hour up Woodley. LAPD still trying to get units in the area here. Now he's circling this neighborhood just north of Van Nuys. We're in the basically North Hills area. Made a right turn on Parthenia. Probably going to head back towards Haskell here, and I guess he'll either head towards the freeway or turn back on Haskell if he's familiar with this area, which something tells me he might be, or he's just trying to get back to the freeway. He's traveling eastbound on Parthenia with his lights back on. Female with her hand out the passenger window. Through Haskell, coming up on the 405 at 50 miles per hour under the 405 overpass and continuing past the freeway. Now committing to Parthenia Street and oof. Wild right, a wild right now southbound on Sepulveda. This person has control of the vehicle, but he's traveling so fast, it's difficult to really, I mean, he's not braking for these turns. He's just making wild right-hand turns, and they appear to be mostly random. Now traveling southbound Sepulveda Boulevard, paralleling the 405 freeway here. This is a late 90s Honda Accord that's already been involved in one collision. He's found a gas station, and we'll see if he just cuts through, or yeah, he's just cutting through traffic here, cutting through that gas station to get back onto Roscoe. Eastbound Roscoe Boulevard now. Still no police in sight. Vehicle slowing down considerably now, wondering what his gas situation is. I think he fully intended on just cutting through that gas station, but we'll see without the pressure on him if at some point he decides to get gas or just dump the vehicle altogether. He could always foot bail if he finds a spot, but right now he's just enjoying the ride as he tries to flee that helicopter. You see the night sun shining a bright light down Willis Avenue off of Roscoe, southbound Willis. Again, these are all narrow surface streets over here, and he is still going just over the speed limit, but much slower than he was earlier. We'll see if the driving behavior changes here, but so far he's been driving very recklessly, a high-speed chase without anybody behind him. Southbound Willis Avenue through Panorama City, another random left turn. A random left turn into a narrow residential street. Headlights back off. He's blacked out the vehicle, and this might be his opportunity to dump it somewhere. If he can find a parking spot and just dump the vehicle, something tells me that may be what he's looking to do here. It certainly would be the safest thing for everybody involved, but either way, LAPD still trying to get units in the area here. Oh, a wild left U-turn in front of that car. Almost slammed into that innocent motorist. Almost slammed into that car. That was a close call, and he's got his lights off. Still pushing the pedal to the metal up Van Nuys Boulevard. Northbound Van Nuys Boulevard at a high rate of speed here at 70 miles per hour. Northbound Van Nuys Boulevard. Traffic is light, but it doesn't matter. This is going to end very dangerously. Look at that, somebody crossing the street, slowing down for this intersection. He's got a green light here, might be looking for the turn, Rob. Might be turning here, he slowed down. Might be making a left, or is that him? Not it, he must have made the left. He didn't make a right, I wonder if he made the left. Ah, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh boy. Behind the building, keep going, keep going, keep going. Did he keep going? Are you sure that wasn't him? Oh boy. And he may be still on Roscoe. He must have made an eastbound turn. Pardon us as we try and find him here, guys. I know you guys are saying the same thing we did as he pulled behind that building. We lost visual. We're trying to track him down. He's made a few turns already. There's a report that he's on Roscoe, but we'll see if we can track that helicopter. You can see the LAPD helicopter. All right, there he is. There he is. He's back on surface streets here in a residential neighborhood, weaving through side streets. Still has his lights off there, but fortunately, LAPD was able to maintain a visual there, and now we have him back in our sights as he heads back towards, I think, back towards the 405. Thank you. Pardon me. Sorry about that, guys. Back with you now as you join us live on abc7.com. If you're just joining us on our 24/7 streaming channels, you are watching a live police chase here in the San Fernando Valley through Panorama City. A stolen Honda Accord driving very recklessly up Osborne Street. LAPD unable to keep up with the suspect, but you do see an occasional night sun there. That's because the helicopter is still trying to track this vehicle despite the speeds and despite the erratic driving. They've been able to maintain a visual. At one point, we lost visual just a few moments ago. As you noticed, he came around that building on Van Nuys Boulevard. Now he's making a turn back onto Van Nuys Boulevard off of Osborne. So he's now back on the northbound side of Van Nuys Boulevard, right near where we were when we lost him. And now he's pulling into a parking lot, probably looking to cut through here, coming back out on Nordhoff Street. Van Nuys and Nordhoff making a left turn now westbound on Nordhoff. Westbound Nordhoff with his headlights off. Again, a stolen vehicle with two people, at least two people inside the vehicle, a driver and a female passenger. Another random turn here, a left turn onto Cedros Avenue. And again, as we were discussing earlier, it certainly appears as though these are all random turns, and there's a good possibility he or they may just jump out of the vehicle here any minute. But at the speeds he was traveling, he had no intention of pulling over for police. He was able to lose them for the most part, but that helicopter is still applying pressure even with the night sun off. Now southbound on Kester, southbound Kester Avenue. More residential streets here, which wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't for the speed that this person is willing to travel at. Now you see he's been forced to put his lights back on, 60 miles per hour down Kester Avenue. If he blows through an intersection at that speed, he's going to wipe somebody out here. Again, traffic is pretty light, but it just takes one wrong move. You can see his brakes are starting to glow, hitting the curb, losing control there, fishtailing through the intersection at Parthenia and Kester Avenue, almost losing control, definitely jumped the curb. And keep in mind, this vehicle has already been in at least one collision earlier in this pursuit. And if he keeps making these wild turns like that without braking, he's going to eventually slam into a car or worse. So right now, he made a wild turn there, and now that front left tire is starting to squeal on him. It looks like that tire is coming off, and some smoke maybe coming from under that fender. So let's see if the vehicle behaves any differently. And now he's again turning those headlights off as he struggles to control the vehicle. That tire's starting to come off. He's going to start running into the pavement here as he grinds that rim into the pavement. If he continues to speed up, it's going to shorten this pursuit dramatically. He's not going to be able to get very far. I don't know how much more this Honda Accord has left in it, but I mean, you just clearly see he's going to run it right into the ground unless he gets hurt first, and hopefully he doesn't hurt anybody else. Look at how close he's getting to some of these other cars. Another crazy turn here, back onto Cedros. He's doing circles in this neighborhood, and you get the impression if they were able to get in here, and for whatever reason they're not. We don't see any sign of any black and whites in this area, but if they could, he's almost setting up for a perfect spike strip opportunity. But right now, they are not in the vicinity. They're trying to track him, but I don't know. He's whatever they're trying to do here is not working. He's still driving very recklessly, very dangerously. Look at him, right up on that guy's tail. Random turns, left and right, weaving through the San Fernando Valley, zigzagging through Panorama City, down Chase Street now, another residential street. Might be the first time he's actually stopped for an intersection here. He's at the stop sign going through here onto Willis Avenue. And again, we've been here before, so he's really just kind of retracing his steps through this neighborhood. Probably going to dump the car here, especially with that front left tire. Getting a little squirrely on him. I think he's going to try and dump it. We'll see what happens. Coming to a stop, coming to a stop. Vehicles come to a stop, trying to communicate with somebody, flashing a gang sign out the window. Continuing to pick up speed again, moving again on Willis. It's going to be southbound Willis Avenue. Well, it's fair to say this chase has really turned into a tracking exercise as the helicopter continues to follow from above. There really doesn't appear to be an effort at this point to catch up with him anymore. They just are tracking him, and I guess they'll try and meet up with him at some point when this comes to an end, but he has slowed down dramatically, driving much differently as that car is probably telling him, I'm done, man. I'm done. He's coming to a stop. We'll see if the doors pop open here. Here it goes. Here he goes, dumping the vehicle. Driver and passenger making a run for it off of Roscoe Boulevard through an alley. And northbound Roscoe they go, looking for a hiding spot. That night sun on the two suspects running out of the vehicle into an alleyway, or is that might be Brimfield Avenue? But they are now running northbound. Not going to get very far here, but again, with no PD units, they certainly have a chance to hide out or get away here. Flashing the police helicopter, just begging for it, but they're not even running anymore. They're just kind of casually walking away, and I presume that we'll eventually see units pull down here onto Brimfield, but right now, all right, picking up a little more of a jog. Might be police behind them. We'll see here. We'll try and line up with Brimfield Avenue here. They're behind these trees here, continuing to run northbound. And it appears that they're running away from something, which tells me maybe they hear a siren in the distance back there, or maybe they're just, again, just looking for the hiding spot. They appear to have separated. That is the male driver. There's a female behind him somewhere. This guy's running out of steam. We will follow this to the end here and see where he ultimately ends up and if police eventually take him into custody here. He's running along the Wash here, parallel with Chase Street. Wow. Hiding out there. Thinks he's gotten away. We'll see here. Not so sure about that. We'll see if they can get units into position here or if they just are going to let them go. We'll see. They're trying. I can hear them making their way through here, but he's going down into the Wash. Really just looking to hide out here. Well, thinks he's found a hiding spot. Obviously not the best hiding spot. If he stays there, they should be able to get a unit down here eventually. Not sure what's taking so long, quite frankly, but you can see him now hiding under that walkway, that pedestrian bridge. And now back up to the surface there, just kind of walking around. Remember, the female passenger separated a little bit further south on this this bike path that he's on. Somewhere in this vicinity is where we lost her. Now the driver running back towards her, or towards where we last saw her anyways. Obviously aware of that night sun, can't miss that, so he knows that the police are onto him. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take to catch up to him. Is he going to jump over a fence here, try and hide out in the backyard? Maybe. It's under the trees, under those trees right there near that backyard. Pardon me, still looking for the suspect here. He's somewhere under these trees, hiding out, possibly in a backyard. Not sure if he jumped the fence or not, but in any event, it just doesn't appear that they have enough personnel to find this guy or to get in here for whatever reason. So the helicopter's overhead. They obviously want to try and keep an eye on his whereabouts, especially if he's now trespassing into private property. Never know if anybody's home in there or if they were already calling 911, but in any event, we last saw him right near their fence, right near the backyard fence along this wash here between Chase and Roscoe. The vehicle was dumped on Roscoe, then he ran up this bike path paralleling that wash, and there's a group of homes on the east side of the wash that he appears to be hiding out in, either one of those backyards or perhaps in one of the trees. We'll see. They'll find him eventually, but as they use their night sun, they keep in mind they also have infrared technology, so they could follow his heat signatures as well. So we'll see where that night sun takes us, because that's most likely going to be the best indicator of where he's hiding out. Thank you. All right, police have now made their way into the area. We'll see if they can track him down here. Again, officers still trying to make their way into the area. Again, not sure why they're having a hard time, but there are now, I do see some sirens pulling into the neighborhood. We'll see if they can find him. But right now, we have not seen him in several minutes. Last saw him under those trees there, parallel to the wash, maybe attempting to jump the fence there, but he may have found his hiding spot here. We think he might be in that backyard right there. That's going to be the 8400 block of Brimfield Avenue, and now you can see neighbors with their flashlights out looking for the suspect, trying to figure out what all the commotion's about. They hear the helicopters, they hear the sirens. They may have even seen him run by them. That group of people were in their backyard when he ran by. They may have actually heard him or seen him. But we think he might be in that house there, or at least in that property next to the pool. And it looks like this is might be a dead end that they're at here. A couple of black and whites now pulling into this intersection here of Community and Brimfield Avenue. I'm not. Yeah, I do. So they've been able to establish a perimeter here. We'll see if it's too late, but you can still see the helicopter focusing on that one house right there next to the swimming pool, which is where we last saw him as well. So they may have a beat on him, or they may be just guessing based on their last visual of that suspect who was last seen right near those trees, trying to jump over that fence potentially. And we don't see him in the wash anymore, but that's where we last saw him. I think he probably did jump that fence, and he's probably hiding out in one of those backyards. So if that's the case, maybe the perimeter will help here, but I don't know. They just still don't seem to have enough units to track him down. If he's really hidden down, locked down in a good hiding spot, you know, this could be an extended search, and it doesn't appear that they have enough personnel to conduct that search. Right now we only see 2 or 3 black and whites at the cross street of Brimfield Avenue and Community Street. That may or may not be enough here. They'll presumably enter this house and knock on the door and eventually end up in the backyard, but he could be long gone for all we know. Let's go ahead and orbit. If you're just joining us, this was a chase that has now turned into basically a manhunt here as they try and find those 2 suspects who ran out of the vehicle, dumping a stolen Honda Accord along Roscoe Boulevard after leading police on a high-speed chase through the San Fernando Valley, at times doing extreme speeds over 100 miles per hour, 110 on the freeway, and even colliding with a couple of vehicles. And now you can see it has ended in a suspect search as they try and track down those 2 in the backyards of some of these homes. Again, they could be long gone, but right now LAPD still holding the scene here. They have a perimeter set up with a handful of units right near the area where they last saw the suspect from the helicopter. Again, it was a male and a male driver, a female passenger in that stolen car, and they just dumped the car and went running for it, really toying with the helicopter, even flashing gang signs at the helicopter at one point. But it certainly appears from my vantage point that these 2 might have very well managed to escape here. They could, for all we know, they really could be anywhere. There could be information that LAPD is working with that leads them to believe that they are still in this area, or perhaps even in one of these houses. But right now, it certainly sounds like they're just kind of searching in the dark. Copy that. Well, this is a clear indication here that it certainly appears that that helicopter has lost visual. You see the units that have pulled into that house or in that intersection have gone back to their patrol cars, and something tells me, as I mentioned earlier, that this may very well be over. It just took too long, quite frankly, to get units in position here. That's the car, and that's the female passenger. I don't know if it's the female passenger, but it is a female who is now being detained next to the stolen vehicle. So perhaps one person in custody here, and by all accounts, the driver still at large. But they may be able to use her. She may lead them to him. And so that may be how this all ends. He's probably hiding out somewhere here. But for all intents and purposes, this pursuit is over. We hope they can track him down. We obviously want to see both of these two off the street. A dangerous pursuit, putting lots of lives in danger here as they led police on just a wild high-speed chase through the valley, coming to an end here at Roscoe and Brimfield Avenue. So that'll do it for our coverage from up here in Air 7 HD. Thank you for watching. I'm Chris Christie for ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Join us live in just about a half hour for Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.